possible. So I would like to thank the people who run 9H1UHF-R, the people on the YouTube who run the YouTube, and we thank them, and also the people who run 9H1DMR-L. All the trustees put a lot of work into this, and we must be very grateful for their work. All people are volunteers. And of course, all people are very, very busy. So I'll start by calling radio stations from the internet. Start from the internet, just the internet. Okay, I know I have some people connected to me now. Because of my disability, I cannot see who it is. So please, people who are connected to me, please call in.
Golf Zero Bravo India Alpha. Name's Ian. Mosque by the Sea in the UK, the QDH. Good evening, Charles. I can also see November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey connected to you, and Kilowatt Charlie 1 November Oscar Charlie David has just connected to you. 901 FBS Golf Zero Bravo India Alpha.
So far I have copied November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, Golf 0 Bravo India Alpha, Kilo Charlie 1 November Oscar Charlie. We are now calling stations from the island of Malta and Gozo. Please come in.
Nine Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. The name is Anthony.
Acknowledge 9H5 Fox Alpha. Any more check-ins for the GlobalNet, please? Any more stations for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand it over to Jerry, because I don't know the agenda for this evening, and maybe he could tell us what's going on today. I did not copy that. Can you try that again, please? Over. N78PW, you have the mic.
Very good, Charlie. 9H1FBS, thank you for calling the net. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Good evening to everybody. The agenda today, there's going to be a barbecue? No, just kidding. We may have some information about the Jamboree on the Air that happened a week or a week and a half ago, and maybe some information about the classes, the ham radio classes that are being given at Marl, Mike Alpha Radio Lima, one of the local clubs. And Anthony may have some of that information. But that's our whole agenda, Charlie. Again, thank you very much for taking care of the net, and to Anthony for doing all the behind-the-scenes work and making this possible. So I'll pass it back to you, pick it up, and I'll stand by. 9H-1FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Yeah, well, I have an announcement to make, which I was going to forget. The link between 9H1 DMR-L and the local talk group 2780 is working both ways, and we thank Antoine for his work on this. I know that everybody is very, very busy. So let's see. Yeah, okay. I'll see who's going to give us the information about the jamboree. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of check-ins this evening, so didn't even put myself down. As we say in Maltese, to get fished. That means I'm baffled. Let's see if Sam is here. G1UFN.
Charlie, 9H1, GFM, are you copying me?
Charlie, did you copy 9 Hotel 1 Japan Lima, 9H1FBS on 7APW?
Yes, I did, but I forgot to press the button. He's on the list, no problem. Good evening, Joe. So let's go to the top. Maybe have a few words from most of you or all of you. So let's go to G0BIA. Very good evening, Ian. Thank you for coming on the net.
I'm 901. Fox Bravo Sierra. November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Kilowatt Charlie 1 November Oscar Charlie. 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha. And 9 Hotel 1 Juliet Lima. Very good evening, gentlemen. Some of you know me, some of you don't. HI, you're trying hard tonight, Charles. I have sent an email to you giving up because I couldn't get any sense out of 9 Hotel 1 UHF, and I had changed my mind from earlier on today, where I sent you a mail in response to your invitations, which incidentally I don't think you've picked it up, but twice now the attachments that you sent to me, my computer says don't open those, they're dangerous. So I don't know what it is that's triggering that, but so certainly just come up on a Thursday night if I can remember, and I have done mostly. Radio wise, I'm doing a little bit of FT8, I'm doing some DMR, a bit of Whisper, generally looking after the XYL and the Homestead as well. Talk to 9 Hotel 1 Alpha Juliet. Basically now on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I've given up talking to him about radio. He's not really interested, so I'm just wasting my breath. I've tried very hard to encourage him to come on to this net and also to switch on 9 Hotel 1 UHF. But all I get is, well, if I switch it on, there's nobody there. So I can't win, really. It's sad, but there we are. Life marches on, and he's had his things to deal with, and we've all had COVID to deal with, and hope none of you guys have caught it and had your... Well, I've had my third jab, the wife's had her third jab, and touch wood, we're staying in, basically, apart from going shopping here in the UK. Weather today, at the moment, you probably heard there's a lot of rain in the west, but we haven't had any at all on the east coast, so it's looking pretty good. But I did look at the tritons through the webcams on Malta this morning, and it looked as though it was a bit dull. So yeah, long over from me, Charles. So back to your covers. 9 Hotel 1, Fox Bravo Sierra, Golf 0 Bravo India Alpha.
Japarim, I can't stay very long. If you want some information regarding the Jamboree, I can give you the information now before I go.
Okay, Joe, I didn't know that you were in such a hurry. Sorry about this gentleman, but the gentleman needs to give us some information. Take it away, Joe.
Yes, good evening there, everybody. 9H-1 Japarima, alias 9H6 Sierra Golf Mike for the Musta Scout Group also. Alright, sorry about it, but it's bad timing over here right now for me because dinner is served, so I can't stay very long. Okay, a little bit of information regarding our Jamboree this year. We did the event as we used to do it before because last year it was a different situation. We were very cautious this year. We had to take some precautions, of course, with the COVID-19. So we tried to put small groups this time, not too many people in the room. We managed to set up the station on the 15 there, the antennas, and actually the rain gave us a little time to set all the antennas. Eventually we got drenched in water. That was a blessing there. And on tomorrow we tried out the radios there, so we managed to make our first contact with South Tolme Island. That was a good contact right away there, so this is the setup was working great. We set up a cobweb antenna and full-size Windham, and VHF, UHF collinear, and another ground plane antenna for working on the VHF and UHF portion there. So we ran the station on Saturday morning, starting off around 7 o'clock. Well, actually 7:30 when I was there. The station was running around 8 o'clock, and we had a full day, and lots of scouts came, and we had a good time. We had a little bit of a short time, was a little bit dry on the HF. Mainly we were operating HF. We were manning one station, the other station on VHF, UHF was sort of at a standby. Unfortunately, the UHF section, which was in conference on 9H1 UHR, got clogged up, and also on VMR, so group 907 it got clogged up also. So we did some contacts, but not much. I know you guys tried to reach us, but unfortunately we couldn't handle all the traffic at the same time. The kids had a good time. They were on the radio, as you might see on the QRZ page there. You go to the QRZ 9H6 Sierra Golf, the information all updated, and some pictures from this event, so you can have a quick look at it. We also had the seminary scouts this year, because the station was set up at the Archbishop Station Seminary up in Robert, and they have recently set up the group again, and they enjoyed the activity, and it was a very interesting event for them, because they hadn't had the opportunity to have that sort of event previously. So it's a first time for them, and we'll see what happens next year. We'll have to see what happens next year. But thankfully, we managed to do 43 countries in the short time we were set up. So that was good also. It's not how many we do, but it's the quality, not the quantity. We go for the quality. Mainly that the children enjoy themselves. That's the main reason, and it was a success. That I vouch for it. Okay, I'm gonna have to just listen for one over, and then I have to go QRT because dinner is set up and it's on the table, and I have to go and join the family. So I made a little effort to come up and give you the information, guys. So over to you, Charlie, there, and good morning there, most probably to Jerry there. Nice to hear you, Jerry, also. And also to you, Ian. And Anthony is also there. I'm not sure if there are any stations there on the side. So over to you, Charles. 9H1 FBS, 9H1 JOTA Lima.
Thank you, Joe. Very fast, but we have understood most of it. Yes, it was very, very busy, and of course, the scope of it all is to get scouts from different countries together. So I think that you've managed to do so. By the way, for those of you who are not aware, a seminary is a place where they train people to become priests. This is not religion, I'm just stating a fact, that's all. It is in a very high place, and believe me, I think they did very, very well. Okay, so next we go to David, I think, I'm sure. And after you, I'll take a break for check-ins, Dave. KC1 and OC, 9H1 FBS.
Nine H1 FBS with the net, KC1 and OC. Well, good evening to everybody on Malta. Good to be in with you. Not sure what happened with the communications. I'd love for somebody to fill me in. Anthony and I, 9 Hotel 1 Fox Alpha, we tested everything ahead of time. Everything was working great. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Not sure what happened. I know everything on my end was working well. I tried to give notice for everybody to come over here, Charles, and link up to you. Not sure if anybody's going to do that or not. But anyways, beautiful sunshiny day here today in northern Maine. It's about 46 degrees. I think that's going to be about as high as we get. Last night it dropped down to about 33 degrees. Of course, that's Fahrenheit. Don't know the conversions off the top of my head. We had a bad windstorm yesterday and last night. I didn't lose any antennas, thank God, but did lose power for a very long time, but fired the generator up for backup, so not a problem there. Anyways, I won't hold it and yak too much. Thanks everybody, Charles and all, for running the net, and it's good to hear everybody. I'll turn it back to net control, 9H1 FBS, KC1 and OC.
Much. Are there any more check-ins for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? Please call net control.
Okay, very good evening, Charles. 9 Hotel 1 FBS. This is a 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox. A very good evening to everybody, and very nice to hear you all. Yes, we've had a bit of a problem with the connection, but we still managed to do something. Also, continuing to what Joe was saying, we also did the jamboree, the Scouts Jamboree at the club at Mtarfa, at Marconi Amateur Radio Circle. We had the other Scouts, which were the Baden-Powell Scouts. The Baden-Powell Scouts. We had two groups. The ones from Zabuch, and later on during the day we had the group from Mtarfa. So we had quite a few kids running around. I set up the station in Mtarfa and left because I was also with Joe for the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, even on the Thursday when we set up. I was also with Joe, so it was quite a busy weekend. And the kids also enjoyed themselves. With the limitations that we had, we still managed to do something for them. But anyway, okay, Charles, I'll pass the microphone back to you. Good evening to everybody. I will be here standing by. 9 Hotel 1 FBS. This is 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox.
Okay, I'm taking check-ins at the moment. Please just your call twice and phonetically, and your name if possible. Call net control, 9H1 Fox Bravo, CN. It seems that we're drying up. I used to remember, Steve, when there were about 4 or 5 different places where the Jamboree took place in Malta. I think that the manpower isn't what it was. But we might get it up again. I might even try my hand at that again next year. And you'll have another person to help you. So thank you very much for that information. I wonder whether the SLIMA group, which I believe is the first scout group in Malta, would be interested. So now we go to, let's see. Yeah, now we go to Anthony. Not sure what happened, but I just couldn't contact on Echolink 9H1UHF-R. I don't know why, but this seems to be working. I'm listening on DMR in the background here. I can hear myself. Ho, ho, ho. Anyway, for information, we have just been missed by a massive storm which practically drowned Sicily. And it was predicted or forecast to hit Malta. But it was, well, it just missed us so far. So we'll see what's going to happen. But I think it's now dying down. But if it hit Malta, it would have been, shall we say, a very wet situation. 9H5FA, 9H1FBS, go ahead, Ed.
Nine H1FBS. This is 9H5FA. Yes, correct. And we also had notifications on the media warning people not to go out unless absolutely necessary. But then those notifications were retracted, and till now we've seen some rain, some wind, but nothing really serious. Regarding the connection problems, what happened from my end at least was that at some point in time, people connecting to 9H1UHF-R repeater via Echolink were getting automatically timed out after a couple of minutes and disconnected. And for some reason, people talking on DMR were not coming through on UHF-R repeater. Which is a bit strange because, as Dave correctly said, about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour before the net, we did a check, and from my end everything was connecting fine, and from his end everything seemed to be connecting fine as well. But these things happen. Could have been a weather thing, I'm not sure. Some connection somewhere. Somewhere in the links we have. But that's easy. So at the moment I'm not coming in on 9H1UHF-R, although the repeaters are connected. H1 DMR repeater via my radio, so I'm talking on RF. And we're all connected to the DMR repeater or to Charles 9H1FBS. Back to you, net control. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, very, very good indeed. Thank you very much, Anthony. Well, as I said, these things happen, and I was a bit flummoxed by it, but then I pulled myself together and said, The show must go on. So, with that, I'll take more check-ins. 9H1FBS.
9H-1 FPS, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Just to tell you that I have on Jitsi 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Mike, France, Mikalev. He doesn't have access to DMR or Echolink at the moment. He was getting on the UHF. Now he can't talk to us because we somehow lost the link between the UHF and the DMR repeater. But he is on Jitsi with me and with 9H1 Sierra Fox Steve. Back to you, net control.
Give him our best regards and tell him that we miss him over here. He always puts in 1 or 2 minutes of his time to tell us, a few things. Any more check-ins for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet? 9H1FBS, standing by. Business. That's very, very good. I'm going to pass it over to Jerry. Somebody's just rang off from me. Let's see if he has something to say. I think I've jumped the gun here. He just said a few words at the beginning, and that's all. So, N7APW, 9H1FBS. Please forgive me.
Yeah, very good, Charlie. 9H1FBS and the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. This is November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Yeah, I could hear you twice. That radio is obviously having a delay and you're hearing yourself, and I don't know how it doesn't mess you up, but it messes me up, or it would if I had to be under those conditions. Yeah, Dave, apparently there's an issue, and it may be an issue with Echolink. Echolink has acted like this before, where they would connect somebody and then 1 or 2 minutes later they disconnect them automatically. So, I don't think anybody really knows where the problem is. Unfortunately, we were not able to hold the net on 9H1 UHF repeater, which is normally its home. But that's okay. Thanks to Charlie, who took up the net. Thanks to Anthony, who did a lot of legwork. We are here and we are having a net, and that's all that matters. I'd like to remind everybody that the net meets every 2 weeks, and Malta will be changing into winter time, but the time of the net locally will be the same. So, and I'm sure Anthony can elaborate on that. But I think Malta will be changing into winter time or standard time in the next weekend coming up. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Here in the United States, we're changing to standard time the first weekend in November, which happens to be the 7th. I heard about your weather, and we had something similar go through here, and now it's going across the top tier of the U.S. towards the East Coast. Sorry, Dave. I couldn't help this one. It was big. Other than that, we're having a nice, beautiful, sunny day. Tomorrow it's going to be about 21 degrees Celsius, and the next day the high is going to be about 5 Celsius. So we're still in that transitional period where one day would be nice and summery and the next day will be cold and blistery. I don't have anything else for the net. Thank you to Joe and to Anthony for all the information. And again, Charlie, thank you for picking up the net. 9 Hotel 1 FBS with the 9H-HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey.
You owe me a beer.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
You gotta wait until we meet. Either I come there or you come here. Anyway, I wonder why there aren't any ladies on the net. I remember that we had some lady amateurs in Malta, but you were saying earlier on, who was saying this? Oh yeah, I was hearing on one of the places where I go to. I'm on Peanut as well now, and I've just had some. Not the electronic version, but the real ones. They were saying, yesterday I was talking to a gentleman in the state of Hawaii, and he said there are 2,000 people registered as radio hams here, but only about 300 are active. And I believe that might be the case in many countries. Let me pause one more time for check-ins. This is 9 Hotel 1 Fox Bravo Sierra.
9H-1 G1 UFN, just listening in.
G1 UFN. Next. We are taking check-ins for the 9H-HAM GlobalNet. Is there anyone else who would like to add his call sign to us?
Attenzione, attenzione, you speak English. My name is Andrew, Milano Nord, Italy.
Questa è una rete locale ma internazionale anche. C'è molte stazioni in questa net. Se vuoi, ma io non parlo italiano molto buono. Allora, questa è una rete locale. We meet, incontriamo ogni 2 settimane. So let's see. Can anyone please help me with this, because my Italian is rather rusty.
Sì, ho compreso tutto. Se avete l'appuntamento ogni 2 settimane tra amici, ho capito allora. Vi lascio fare il vostro questionario. Vi saluto, cordialità. Volevo solo una bandierina di Malta che non ce l'ho, e che mi fa un favore da mettermi una bandierina nel mio GRZ. Italia 1, Forma 2, Delta Yankee Italia, da Pavia, che vi saluta. Buon proseguo, con la buonanotte, good night a tutte queste ore. Vi saluto e vi ringrazio chi mi mette una bandierina nel mio GRZ, Italia 1, Forma 2, Delta Yankee Italia. Good night, buon QSO.
La fonetica Italia 1.
Ripeto, il mio indicativo, ripeto, il mio nominativo indicativo, Italia Uniform 2, Delta, Yokohama, Italia. Nel mio GRZ volevo una bandierina di Malta, grazie.
Ok, fine. 100%. Il mio nome è Carmelo, QTH Isola di Malta. If anyone could oblige the gentleman with a Maltese flag on his QRZ, I would appreciate that. 73 per adesso. Proviamo di un altro questo più tardi. Okay, so let's see if Sam has something to say. He said he's listening, but come on, Sam, just say something. We had some problems, but we seem to have solved them at the present time. G1 UFN, 9H-1 FBS.
9H-1 FBS. and G1UFN returning. Okay. Yeah, I tried to get on with you at UHF there. I know you could hear me, but whether you could speak to me back, I don't know. Anyway, it's one of those days, I think, as far as echo link's concerned. And good evening to all, anyway. And to you, Jerry, anyway. I did actually manage to hear Jerry as well. But by the time I tried to get through, I've lost you. And I found you back again on here. So there you go. And did you get my email, by the way, Charlie? 9H-1FBS G1UFN.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you earlier on, I did get your email. No problem at all. So, let's see here. That's the whole story, my friends. Does anybody else have remarks or something to say on the net? Please call net control.
That control is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
The net, both the United States, Canada, and Europe will be back on standard time, so it will remain the same, 1400 your time, and 8 o'clock p.m. our time, 1400 Eastern Standard. Sorry, because you have 4 or 5 different time zones. What Ian was saying, I'll pass it back over to you, Anthony. What I do is I actually forward the email that you send me. Why is his program telling him that it is dangerous? I hope I'm not inserting any thorns into it. 9H5FA, 9H1FBS.
Nine H1FBS, 9H5FA. What was it about dangerous? I didn't get that. I didn't get exactly.
Ian, G1BIA, G0BIA, correct? Yeah. His program tells him that the email he receives from me is dangerous. I think we can talk about it later. Maybe you could put him on the list if you don't have him on the list. Anyway, I won't keep you anymore. It seems that nobody has any comments for the net, so I'll just say thank you for coming. Thanks to all the people who put a lot of work behind the scenes to make this thing work every 2 weeks. Our next meeting is supposed to be on the 11th of November, which is, I think it is the official day of World War II, Remembrance Day, if I'm not mistaken, here on the island and in Europe as well. So I believe that is correct, but I stand or sit in this case to be corrected. Best 73 to all. I know that this is not going to be very nice on YouTube, or what is it? YouTube? But anyway, we'll have a jolly good laugh. It's good sometimes. 73s, thank you all for being here. Thanks for giving your support to this net, and hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. And if I have to do it again instead of Jerry, he owes me 3 beers. Chin chin. Cheers, 9H1FBS.
Good night all, G0BIA clear.
Good night all from G1UFN, clear. Now clear.
9H-1 and November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey. Thanks a lot for saving the day. Today was a day of technical problems, unexpected, but we managed to have a successful net just the same. So thank you very much, and you make a great brotherly pair. Even though we're at different ends of the globe. The 9H-1 FPS, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
If you have time one day, try to attend a net, but they don't do it on Saturday, and you'll be working at that time. It's called the Kawabanga net, and well, let's say the jokes aren't very rare on that one. So it is the best way to take away tension I found in my life is to have a good laugh. So cheers and beers to you all. Let me pass it over to Jerry. Maybe he would like to have another dig at me. It's common. 7APW, 9H-1 FBS.
I'm not sure that November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey is still here anymore. Is it still connected to you, Charles?
I don't know. You see that bit? It doesn't show me. Well, it does, but I don't see it, if you know what I mean. My program does not interpret that part of Echolink. Anthony. I might try, but I don't know. Still don't know. I don't know if he's still connected to me. It just reads the whole page, and eventually you'll get to it, but by then it will be tea time tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yes. Charles, could you repeat the name of that net, please? And when is it held? The Carabanja, what was that? 9 Hotel 1 FBS and Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
استنى شادك ما حلش مني. No, that شيء. Let me count them out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With me, it's 8.
November's, sorry, 9 Hotel 1 FBS.
On a Echolink. It's held at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1:30 or just past 1:30 between Monday and Friday on this drop in, and it's called the Kawabanga. Now I'm going to try to spell it, but shall we say my dictionary is not available. I think it's something like Kawabanga, Kawabanga.
9H1 FBS, 9H5 FA. Yes, I just found a link to it on a Facebook page. And it is Kawabunga or Bus. So it's Kilo Oscar Whiskey Alpha Bravo Uniform November Golf Alpha. Although further down it's written with a Charlie instead of with a Kilo, so which is the correct one, and it's on DMR, so group 31010. It's on D-Star, wow, it's on All-Star, it's on Echolink, and it's on C4FM as well. There is on the net DMR, C4FM, D-Star, B25, Echolink, HF, and UHF net Facebook page. Huge name for a Facebook page. Okay, so this net, for anyone who's listening, it's also on Echolink node 55800 355800 on at 7. It's on at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Central, and 8:30 a.m. in Newfoundland. And I guess the days are, I'm not sure, I don't see the days written here, but I guess that I think Monday and Fridays are correct. 9H1 FPS, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Monday to Friday, mitnejs għal-ġimgħa. It's interesting because they can be very, very serious talking about people going to space. Then on the other hand, they can be very, most participants are from the States or Canada, but I sometimes go in and say hello. And they welcome everybody, so I just told you about it because I think we cracked a couple of jokes on the net today, and I hope it doesn't mess up the recording there. But, well, what can you do? What can you do? I mean, if you take this thing seriously, you get all flustered and all knotted up inside. This is a hobby, so it's supposed to relax you, not make you get flustered and knotted up inside. If one repeater doesn't work, we'll go to the other. No problem. Maybe one would. That was very interesting with the Scouts as well, both the seminary and also the Scouts over in Terfa. I once went to the Slima headquarters. I believe they're called Bernard Group. And I also believe that it was the first group in Malta. Of course, I had helped to put up antennas and stuff like that, but it was a very, very nice experience. I stayed practically the whole day, but I had someone else to back me up. We taught the Scouts how to write logbooks, which is not very difficult. And we had a very good pasta meal cooked by the Scouts, courtesy of the management.
This is the phone 9H-HAM. You can take the microphone.
9H-1 SBS, 9H-5 FA. For some minutes, I think the repeater went silent, or perhaps my radio did. Yeah, okay. I heard you saying. I heard you talk about this Lima Scouts group. Free food, which you used to get when you used to go and have them. What's going to happen now is that Jerry's going to come all the way from the US and he's going to set up the next jamboree with the same Scouts group. I'm not sure who's listening at the moment on Echo Link. I can also only see me and you, Charles, and we're both connected to the DMR link on Echo Link. I'm not sure if there's anyone else who's listening at the moment. 9H-1 FBS, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
So, we will leave a pause.
I'm still here. I'm still listening. 9 Hotel 1.
I didn't get that. Did I copy correctly? 9H1 EUS.
Okay, 9 Hotel 1 FPS, 9 Hotel 1 Sugar Fox. I'm still here listening.